Hey everybody, my name's Mike Ortman. So the mission of Ortman Farms that I set out to do a few years ago is to create the ability for you guys to be able to source food directly from farms in our community. So we're located in Brazier Falls, New York. Uh, we're in St. Lawrence County. We're on the edge of St. Lawrence and Franklin County. So what I have done over these past few years with my team is we've built a delivery system. We're starting to link up with multiple different farms, and we built the platform to be able to know exactly what the products are, purchase them, and then have them delivered to your homes conveniently. Over these years, especially through all the door knocking that I have personally done throughout St. Lawrence County, there is a growing desire to know where our food comes from and who is producing specifically when it comes to like meats, eggs, and stuff. And eventually, for us, will be milk eventually. But there's a growing desire to know where our food is coming from, how it's being raised, processed, and delivered. And in order for us to do that, this has been a long and cumbersome undertaking to get to the point where we have built our online store and delivery system and linked up with many farms. Because when I set out to do this, farmers markets are going away. There's less and less farmers markets in our county. And farmers markets are great, but unfortunately, they only serve a small number of people because farmers markets sometimes are on Sundays once a week for a few hours, they are uh, or they're in the middle of the week for a couple hours. And if you have a family or you're working, it's usually an afterthought, even though we want to support and go there and buy the food. And then most of the time, farmers markets are they're mostly produce that is seasonal. So most of the farmers markets, they run from like May and June to like October, and that's it for a couple times a month. But the problem is we still have to eat every day, and there is lots of other products that are year round. So we set out or to build the business to be able to service you guys year round with food that comes directly from my farm and other farms, obviously year round. I also chose not to do CSAs, which is called the community supported agriculture, mainly because it's great for the farmers. It's great it's a crop sharing basically. It's you pay a portion, the customer pays a portion to the farmer, typically up front or the whole thing, and then over the course of the season, that customer will share a risk primarily for produce. So that way it helps to it helps the farmer with the cost of growing the produce, and if there's weather events, and shares the risks and so on and so forth. But I shied away from doing CSAs because once again it isolates a number of customers because it's a lot of money up front sometimes, and once again delivery sometimes to do like pickup points, so it's just harder to coordinate getting the produce. So what I set out to do is we did a membership program because that's what we're all used to doing. We have memberships for everything, subscriptions for everything. But I created the way with store.ortmanfarms.com for you guys just to see exactly, what is available locally throughout St. Lawrence and Franklin County. And I also made it the point that with our farm being in Brazier Falls, New York, and keep things truly local, everything that we sell has to be grown, raised, processed in, and within St. Lawrence or Franklin County as of right now, because I want to maintain the true integrity of actually local. So we don't buy products in through other, like the commercial wholesalers, and then put a local name on it. Everything has to come raised off of our farm. It's processed at, our local butcher shop, Tri-Town Packing, or it comes from other farms throughout the county, and it's processed however they do it. Because there's so many items that farms produce locally that we're just unaware of. And when I set out to do this, there's many producers now that I didn't even know that they did like maple flavored, vanilla bean maple syrup. There's different types of honey. there's goat milk products. There's a tremendous amount of different things. And what I wanted to do is connect you guys back to that, uh, but also making it where we can service everybody. Because if you just live alone, or the budget's tighter and you don't want to tie up a ton of money, or you just don't want to, you bought maybe a whole beef in the past and then a freezer went down, so you lost all that. We wanted to build a system where it's just like if you want to do weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, however you want to purchase something, you just purchase it and we deliver, but you get to know us. And I tell everybody, like, I set out to do this business. I don't have any interest in selling to you guys one time. It's all about relationships with us, because farming, any form of agriculture, it takes so bloody long to do anything. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And so same thing with our customers. We want to service every single person that believes in our mission and what we do. And it just takes a very long time to make changes in agriculture, to bring new products online. And so the customers that we do have, the members we have, are thankful for you guys, uh, and to be a part of this journey, because the product that we are providing, so our store, our delivery service, my team, it will not be the same product 6 months from now. It's going to be better as we get your feedback, as we work out kinks to provide a better service, as we bring other farms on. We're going to continue to improve the experience of sourcing food that is truly local if you live in the St. Lawrence or Franklin County. And we built that system so that we deliver weekly. Because ultimately, I set out to do this because I started my experience in farming. So we're a second generation farm now. My father started when he was 48 years old. He had a second career. He ran a newspaper business in Englewood, New Jersey. Did not come from farming whatsoever, but he bought a piece of land in northern New York, and then he decided to start built the house, the barns, everything we are. And at 48, he started milking with 9 cows. So from then, after I got out of the Marine Corps, I decided to continue the farm, but I continued it as a dairy farm, and we built another barn, or built onto a barn to milk more cows. And with the traditional form of dairy farming as commodity based, and the margins are very frustrating, so I decided with some obstacles to say, okay, we're going to build our market and bring back the old milkman idea. And in order to do that, it has required us to have a tremendous amount of customers that believe in our mission, because unlike beef or pork or honey, eggs, and so on and so forth, some of these things have a longer shelf life, and they don't, and you can kind of put a pause on how much you're going to produce and so on and so forth. When it comes to milking cows, it requires a customer base that's already willing to purchase the milk, because cows, once they have a calf, they don't stop producing milk, and they produce a tremendous amount every single day. And so before I make the complete switch from to doing our own micro creamery and becoming licensed, because unfortunately you can't sell raw milk. New York State will give you a permit, but no insurance company will give you an insurance policy, making it null and void essentially to do anything with raw milk. So hopefully, once we built up this whole system, we're going to truly bring back a small farm, local small dairy farm, where we only milk 20 cows, but we're servicing 1,000 customers from those 20 cows, and which to me is very cool, because unfortunately agriculture is falling apart all across this country. It's a silent disaster in the making, and because margins aren't there, commodities aren't there, and it doesn't matter the farm size. You could be milking 5,000 cows, or you can be running 3,000 feeder hogs through commodities. If you're selling food as a commodity, most of these farmers are working on very slim margins. And in order for them to keep cash flow, they have to unfortunately keep getting bigger to spread out their cash flow over more units. But for us, because we've been very blessed with your business, our customers and our members, we are able to really focus in on what a small the potential small farm can have and the reach that it can have. So after I've been doing this now for 7 years, and it's really cool to see how my small farm and other small farms can reach a tremendous amount of customers throughout these two counties and the impact it has and how many families that we help, provide certain food every single week or month to you guys. And so it's truly it's very cool, and that's our mission, is to keep a true small farm alive. But in order to do that, it really takes the communities, because you guys are our market. Without you guys, I won't be able to continue to stay small. I would have to, if I was to continue farming, go back to like a commodity sense based, where you gotta, doesn't matter if it's grain or pigs or beef or dairy, you just have to produce a tremendous amount of volume and you get paid on the slim margins. So in order for us to bring back or keep the true small farm alive and help other small farms in our county stay alive, it just takes all of you guys to help support us by knowing where your food comes from, allowing us to serve your households, and then hopefully you guys like what we do, and then you tell more friends. But yeah, so that's our mission. That's what I am going to be doing for, hopefully, for a very long time, is keep serving you guys. And I'm excited for once I get to the point where I can make the complete switch to a micro creamery to bring the milkman back, because that's when I set out to start farming. I wanted to continue dairy farming because I wanted to raise my family on a dairy farm, because there isn't many other educational lifestyles you can give your kids that makes them or challenges them every day like dairy farming does. And I'm excited to be able to do the micro creamery and the old milkman, because that's something that has not been around, at least in St. Lawrence and Franklin County, for I believe like 30 years. Now, my father remembers, I think, the small milkman when he first came to this part of New York, but it's there's nobody doing it anymore. And so yeah, that's what we hope to keep building. So if you guys like what my mission is, what I'm doing, I encourage you to please go to store.ortmanfarms.com. Take a look at our platform. If we have a newsletter, ortmanfarms.com, that you can sign up and help follow us. And honestly, any feedback is much appreciated. We're looking to just food is very valuable. We need it every day. And yesterday I went to our local price chopper, and I never look at the prices of the meats or anything in the stores, and the color and stuff. And it's our prices aren't, when it's not on sale or the weekly special, we're pretty close to everything, and it's all about the integrity and what the product is. If you try to compare us to the cheapest product, you're going to find something cheaper in the grocery store, just because when they have weekly specials, that meat is expiring basically the next day. So I can't compete with that. But the not on sale prices and the true integrity of what the product is supposed to be before it's been skinny down with, like 80-20 ground beef, that's 20% as a filler, the pork or sausage, you just got to know what the product is. And so, but I guess what I'm saying is our prices, I'm not charging anything crazy. Our membership program we do, I want to make sure we always give you guys value back. So we give 2 products to our monthly members every single month, regardless if you need an order. So that way you're not just paying for something and you feel like you're not using it. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's all about relationships to us. So I truly value every single person that has let me in, that has welcomed me into you guys' homes over these years, as I've done door knocking and listened to all your stories. And you've helped us get to the point where we are able to create a new way for you guys to source food directly from farms. But anyways, well, thank you, and have a good night.